organizations and municipalities gathered in Bangor today as Penobscot County Commissioners awarded more ARPA funds. Grace Bradley has more from the meeting.
Penobscot County Commissioners awarded over $112,000 to 5 recipients of American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, funds.
The American Rescue Plan Act provided funding directly to counties to use for a variety of things that either businesses, nonprofits, or governments that were affected by the COVID shutdown. This has been a very effective program of the Commission to offer each district an opportunity to apply for up to $50,000 for projects, capital improvement, or otherwise in their area. It's allowed us to use the ARPA funds in a way that is much more directed to needs of communities.
19th century Curran Village, Katahdin area trails, Welcome to Housing, and the towns of Lee and Stetson were awarded the funds during Tuesday's meeting.
I think this will finish buying a Lucas tool, which is your automatic chest compressor, which makes it very convenient because most ambulance services discourage doing CPR in a moving vehicle on a rough road and whatever because your EMS provider is not belted. So this machine doesn't care how it operates.
Welcome to Housing is a nonprofit that provides free home goods and furniture with low entry barriers. They were awarded $10,000, their third grant from the Commission. This money will be dedicated to installing a solar array to their warehouse in Old Town.
How it's going to help our mission is it'll keep our costs down because it's a great reduction in electrical costs when you have alternative sources like solar. And one of the other things about it too is we want to be environmentally friendly.
ARPA is a unique opportunity. It came out of a crisis, and it's allowed us federal funds to return to the taxpayers, and returning it in a judicious manner is important to us. So we've taken the time to identify what community needs are and what may benefit individuals in those communities most effectively.
Grace Bradley, WABI TV5 News.